So a couple of weeks ago, I made a album review regarding Travis Scott's Utopia, and I figured we will do the same thing regarding Drake. I'm pretty sure everyone knows In the Dog, not literally because the album called for all the dogs. Who Drake is? Drake is obviously a really popular artist, cool, popular rapper. Obviously a lot of people know Drake, and he released his latest album For All the Dogs, and I figure we will talk about it and kind of give my full thoughts regarding the album and what do I think of it. Now, just a quick warning, this is my opinion regarding my thoughts regarding this album. If you guys don't agree, or if you guys just really like this album, or it's your favorite, I would love to just let y'all know in the comments. Just let me know your thoughts on it, and it'll be just kind of cool just to kind of get my thoughts regarding it. But this is my thoughts regarding For All the Dogs. Now, I had to go back, I'm not gonna lie, like a couple hours, I had to go back and listen to a couple songs I like from this album, because I kind of just wanted to see what my thoughts are regarding it, because first time I remember watching this album, or listening to this album, and I remember exactly, he released it around 6 in the morning. It was kind of a weird time, actually, that he released it around 6 in the morning, but I remember this was before I went to school, so I kind of had time to listen to the album. And I'm not gonna lie, at first I thought it was pretty good. I think it wasn't like obviously it wasn't my per se Drake album. I feel like a lot of people were I feel like people were gonna kind of give, I guess, the same like scenario as Take Care, I believe, from one of Drake's albums. I feel like that's what people kind of thought they were going to go for regarding this album. So I can kind of see why people were expecting this to be like a good album, because they thought it was going to be similar to Take Care. But regardless, I think this album, I think now that I've listened to it a couple of times regarding like my favorite songs in this, I think it's not bad. I think it's not bad, but it's okay, to be honest. I think it's pretty good, honestly. If anything, it's pretty good, but it's definitely not my favorite Drake album, to say at least. But I do respect the album, though. The album is pretty good, honestly. You got some good songs and whatnot. There are some songs that are skippable, but I think overall this album is pretty good. Probably my favorite songs from this is probably Amen. I've listened to First Person Shooter featuring J. Cole. That one's a pretty good song, especially with J. Cole being the feature. J. Cole's like a really good artist, and I really do support J. Cole. So that song is pretty good. Slime You Out, I know that was like before the album, but I still like that song. It's pretty good. All the Parties is also pretty good. And it's not bad of an album, but I feel like other than those songs, I feel like the other songs are just okay, or just not my per se take. I might listen to anything. I might listen to Another Late Night again, because I think Lyrical Lemonade, they released a song regarding that song, so I might give that a listen again and see what's up with it. And I think the other songs and whatnot are okay. It's just, I don't know, it's just not my per se. Even Rich Baby Daddy, that one's just like, it's not my sort of song. Especially, I'm not gonna lie, I do give it props. What props is due. I think Drake and SZA's like songs were good in that song, but Sexy Red being one of I assume like the hook, it's just not my per se artist. Sexy Red is an artist that it's just not my sort of artist. I give respect is due regarding the bag, but Sexy Red is an artist that I'm just not into, unfortunately. But with that being said, I think the album, like I mentioned, is pretty good, but it's definitely not my per se take of a Drake album, I guess you want to call it. Or if anything, it's just not an album I would just listen to on the daily. I don't believe, honestly, it's my per se favorite album of the year. So far, I think my favorite album of the year is Utopia. I like Utopia. Honestly, it's just pretty good as an album. I'm still waiting for at least Offset's album to get released for Set It Off, because that album is going to be interesting. I kind of am excited for it. But I think this album, like I mentioned, For All the Dogs, like I mentioned, I think it's pretty good. It does have some songs that are good, but there are some songs that are skippable, but overall, I think this album has its moments, and I think this would be a moment that I can see. And also, I can see this album being a classic album for like a couple years. I'm not sure why, but I can see this album maybe like appearing for like 2 or 3 years, and I feel like people are gonna say this could be a classic album or something like that. I don't know. I just have that feeling, just being that the case. But I'm seriously getting a feeling that this album might be like a classic album, like we're going a couple years in. So, but I do like the cover though. I'm not gonna lie, the cover is kind of cool. Shout out to Drake's. I believe he has a son, and he's one that kind of drew this, with it being an album cover now. So it's kind of cool. But that is basically it. That was basically giving my thoughts regarding For All the Dogs. Like I said, I think it's pretty good. It's not my favorite Drake album, but I think it does have its fair wealth of good songs. Like I said, some of them are skippable, but there's some songs in this that are really good. And I'm not gonna lie, the features are pretty good in this. Like, it has a mixture of both old school and new school, with like people like J. Cole and whatnot. You got some pretty cool artists and whatnot. You got Lil Yachty, you got SZA, you got 21 Savage, Tesla Touchdown and whatnot. It's pretty cool. Hell, I was surprised that Bad Bunny was even in the song with Gently, which I kind of was surprised. And honestly, I think that song it's again not bad. I think Gently song is not bad, but it's definitely not my favorite, like I mentioned. But it's still pretty good in my opinion. But otherwise, that was For All the Dogs. Let me know your thoughts on this, and if y'all like this, you feel me, like, subscribe, do what you gotta do, and I'll see y'all next time. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.